All right, now we're doing 7Q, remove the minimum. This is by Baquez, and 85% of the people like it. So we're at a museum, and we're removing stuff, and whatever's got the lowest value we want removed. But not just that, when there's two things of the lowest value, we're just going to take the one at the first index that we come across. All right. And we're going to keep the rest of the numbers in the original order. All right. We can't mutate the original array, and that's pretty much it. So what we're going to do here, we're going to start off by declaring some variables. So we're going to say let result equal an empty array. Then we're also going to say let length equal numbers.length. All right. Then we're going to say, pardon me. Then we're going to say let array equal, and then we're going to do dot 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 numbers, and this dot 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 is the spread syntax. We've got it right here. Basically, you just use it on arguments that are arrays, so you can open them up inside of other arrays or inside of other methods, whatever. So that's what that equals. And then we're also going to do a count. We're going to have a count in this as well. We're going to set that equal to 0. So that being said, we're going to start off by doubling up on a for loop. We're going to say for, and with this we're going to say let I equal 0, and while I is less than length minus 1, that's not it. Okay, there we go. We're going to say I plus plus, all right? And we're doing this because we're going to iterate through these. Actually, I'm going to take both of these tests out because they're not nearly as good as this one here. So we're just going to start with this one. Get rid of this. We're going to have this one in the as our tester. Anyway, so it's going to go through and iterate through each one of these, and then we're going to do another for loop. And for on each element, we're going to say for. Then we're going to say let j equal I plus 1. And while j is less than length, we're going to say j plus plus. And the length is this length up here. All right? So basically for this one, we're going to go here, and then we're going to check this one. While we're on this one, we're going to check this one, this one, this one, and this one. And what we're going to check it for is whether this is bigger than this. And if this is bigger than this, they're going to switch. So when it gets to this one, they're going to switch. All right. And then we're going to check to see which one's bigger. Just like I said, if what is it? If array, because we're doing this in the array one, not in the numbers one, because we don't want to sort this one here. We don't want to mutate this one at all. Okay, like that says right there. So if array at at I is greater than array at j, what we're going to do is we're going to switch them out by doing this. We're going to say array I comma array j, and then we're going to say equals, one more time, array j equals, it's not equals, comma array I, right? So this one is going to switch with this one is going to switch with this one, right? And that's what's going to happen. They're just going to switch, all right? So this one's here, this one's here. That's what I meant to say. All right, so and if we check this out, let's do console.log array, test it out. As you see, it's now in order, right? But that's just array, it's not the number, right? So now, let me get rid of this. We're going to say here, another for loop. We're going to say for let I equal 0 while I is less than length we're going to say I++. Now we're going to iterate through again. We're going to iterate through. What are we iterating through? We're going to be iterating through numbers this time, and we're going to see if any of these equal what's at array 0, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. So if, what is it? Numbers at the current index equals array at 0, which will be this one here, all right? We're going to say break, because we want to get out of the loop. And what do I mean by that? Check this out. So we're going to say count down here plus plus. So if it isn't, so if it's this one, it's just going to go through this, go to count and say 1, and then it's going to go through this one and say count is 2, and then it's going to go here and just break out. So count is 2, which this just happens to be at 0, 1, 2. All right? So now we've got the count, which is the index. Now, what we're going to do with that information, we're going to say for, and then we're going to do exactly this thing too. We're going to iterate through number one more time, because this time, I'll show you what I'm going to do. What we're going to do, I should say. We're going to say if, what is this if? We're saying if I is equal to count. No, not equal to. We're going to say if I is not equal to count. If I is not equal to count, we're going to say result dot push number at I. All right. So basically, let's do a console.log here. All right. And let's say count. Test it out. You see the count's going to be 2, all right? And so if I, which is, if once it gets to I2, where's it at? Oh yeah, once it gets to 0, 1, 2, when they equal, this one's not going to get pushed in, and boom. All we got to do is say return result. No. Come on now. I was so confident too. What's the problem here? All right. Oh, here it is. Count plus plus. There we go. We don't need this. We can just say return result. Test it out. Oof. Oof. Here we go. Let's stop playing around. Test it out. Oh my goodness, finally. Attempt 14 milliseconds. That's all I needed to know. All right, so for concise syntax, we're going to change it up. We're going to say const here. Over here, we're going to say equals, and turn all our hard work into an arrow, all right? And for this one, we're going to be using the filter method. And the filter method creates a shallow copy of a portion of an array filtered down to just the elements from the given array that pass the test implemented by the provided function, all right? That being said, we're also going to be using, for this filter method, this filter, then element indexes the arguments, an arrow, and the expression right here. This is going to be the syntax we use. So we're going to say numbers dot filter, and just like the last one, we're going to filter out anything at the index that we're not of the lowest number. All right. So we're going to say here, we don't even need the element. We're just going to say here index, all right? And now we're going to say in this, if index does not equal, and then we're going to say here, we're going to do a numbers dot index of. This is going to get us the index. Let me show you. Index of method returns the first index right there, at which the given element can be found in the array. So we're going to use index of to find the index, And it's going to be index of math.min, which basically just gets the minimum, the lowest number in an array or list. And we're going to say math.min numbers. Is it numbers? No, it's ... spread syntax numbers. All right, cool. And this should take care of it. Oof, come on now. We got one more to put in here. There we go. Maybe. All right, cool, awesome. Attempt it. All right, good. 16 milliseconds. Oh, the long one even is the winner. I had no faith in it, but there we go. So this is the big winner. Let's test it out. Attempt it. All right, still 14 milliseconds. Submit it. All right, very much like this one. Let's go to My Solutions. Yeah, I did it one time and the audio was off. And this one won by a lot the first time, but this one, I don't know. This one's the best practice. Actually, I'm putting them both. All right, and we'll see you next time.